Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. As usual, guys, we are all here for you. We're going to be talking about our top 5 comic books of the week, most anticipated comic books of the week. We're going to be talking about all the exciting news. It's going to be a wonderful show. I am Mike Spider Slayer from the Comic Book Corner 2.0, from the YouTube channel Comic Book Corner 2.0. I'm going to pass it over to Kat. Introduce yourself.
Kat, we can't hear you.
You're mute.
You're mute.
Hey guys, Kat.
There we go.
Kat is no longer mute.
And next, I'm going to pass it over to Chris.
Hey everybody, Chris, Dark Avenger C86 on YouTube, Chaotic Falcon 86 on Twitch.
And then next is Brant.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Brandon from Last Number Press.
So yes, guys, we want to welcome you back, whether you're watching on the Comic Book Weekly YouTube channel, Comic Book Corner 2.0, and of course, if you're watching, listening to the audio version of this. So guys, all of you, welcome back. Sorry we're a little bit late today, but that's how it goes. We got to talk, we got to plan, we got to make things happen. So we provide a great show for you. So I'm going to pass this on to Kat. She's going to kick it off with the news. We got some good stuff to talk about today.
We do. We actually have a lot of news to talk about, so we're going to jump in. First up, this is something Chris wanted to talk about, and that's TMNT Shredder's Revenge game. I know nothing about it. Is this a new game? Is it a remake? What's going on?
It's a brand new game. It's sequeling what we got with Turtles in Time and the TMNT arcade game. It's the same style, and apparently it, like I said, it takes place right after those games. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be obviously probably a digital download game. I don't think they'll make a physical release. If they do, I'm taking it, that's for sure. But I love it because it's in the same style as the original classic Turtle games. Same play style. Story's going to be moving forward. It's got the Turtles from the 80s. I'm excited for it. I can't wait. The trailer for it was spectacular. I mean, any Turtle fan or anybody who played the arcade or the game, you're going nuts for this.
It was amazing.
I admit, I spent a lot of quarters in that machine back in the day. Yeah, that was a go-to at the arcade. It was just fun. So it's cool that they're bringing that back in the same style and everything, and it's just like nostalgia and a nice new package.
My comic book shop when I was a kid actually had that arcade machine in there, along with like 3 or 4 others, like because obviously they needed room to sell the stuff that they had. But they had that game in there. Me and my friend, same thing. We were playing it day in, day out for hours at a time. And it was just like, when I saw that intro, it was just like, man, that just brings back memories, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I was really happy to see it. Looking forward to seeing what the game is going to be about, or where is it going to be released? Do we not know? Is it going to be everybody?
Digital platform. I think it's going to be on consoles and PC.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the cool thing about that game and the X-Men game, it was like, because it was 4 players. Yeah. So you'd like meet total strangers, just people walking up and playing. And you're like, okay, I'm going to join in the fight, and they could just come in at any time.
Yeah, I mean that was
cool.
like old school multiplayer online gaming, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just
Only
like some
person,
guy would come up, and the difference is, it's like you said, they just show up, and you're like, "You mind if I play?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, man." And it's just like you would just play.
It was always that, X-Men, and The Simpsons. Those are my 3 favorite 4-player games.
I didn't like people, so I never played.
Cat never went to an arcade.
When it was the game going on, though, it was like it didn't matter. You were all on the same playing field.
Yeah, it brought down all the barriers. You're just on equal footing then.
I don't know about that one. They're just like, no, stranger. I'm gonna be playing Crazy Taxi over here. All right. So going into some comic news, which is one I wanted to talk about. Green Arrow's getting an 80th year anniversary issue, which is no surprise because everyone and their mom has gotten an 80th anniversary. But I'm a huge Mia Dearden fan, so that's really all that matters to me. I really want to see Mia again, and she was on the cover, so I'm excited about that.
Why didn't the kids get an 80th anniversy now that I think about it? You said mothers, and that's the first thing that hit me.
I have a feeling, Mother's Day is around the corner. You never know.
Maybe.
Digital first. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. At some point, we get a Mother's Day anthology at some point. There's a lot of moms in the DC universe. But yeah, let's get into...
They're all named Martha.
They're all named Martha. It's actually just called Martha.
Just call it Martha.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be a wonderful, wonderful series. So moving into the next thing, which is Marvel reveals Doctor Doom's bride. It's a new character. It's one of the citizens of Liter. Yeah, and Brant guessed it. Cool. I don't know. There's not much to say right now, sadly, just because we don't know who it is. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Do we even know like her hair color? We don't know anything.
It's a blonde.
Yeah, it's blonde. It's Victorian.
Good.
Yeah. So it's just,
and he said it jokingly too. It was.
I know. I did. That's what
he was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Victory or whatever her name is," and
yeah.
we're like, "Ah!" And sure enough, it was her. And when you think about it, though, it's kind of like the obvious choice because that's all he's been kind of involved in with all these books that he's released and based off of, like, I guess his recent series that he had and whatnot. So makes sense.
Yeah, it's when I made the joke, is like it's so obvious that it couldn't be true, right? It's like, no, that's just dumb. But it's it does make sense, and it's just kind of funny that a random just like comment became the truth. So
it is the truth. I don't know if I'm so excited for it, but the cover looks cool, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes.
I mean, it does bring a new meaning to the term power couple. So we'll see what they bring to Latveria in the world.
I'm interested. I won't say excited. So moving into the next thing, which is bookshop.org teams up with Kickstarter. So this is a place for like trades and stuff from Kickstarter to find another home and another way to be bought, which I think is cool. I think the next step Kickstarter really should do, though, is more about the retailer. Like, how do you connect those Kickstarter books to get into retail stores? Because that's a huge deal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great first step. It's something they've never done before. Partnering up with a site to actually feature some of these comics that are funded on Kickstarter. It's just like, I don't know. It's an extension of Kickstarter always says they're not a marketplace, but making that extension, it in essence makes it kind of a marketplace, which is another opportunity for comic creators like us to get our books out there to more people. So that's always a good thing.
So going into the next thing, which is Batman's new villain. I feel like every week we have a new villain for Batman, and that is the Gardener. And I guess it's going to be Poison Ivy related, possibly. I mean, I think it's cool that they're building the Batman mythos. I keep saying this, and I hope it's a cool character, and I want to see more Poison Ivy. And I feel like they've been teasing it for the last couple of weeks, especially between Harley and Ivy, which we'll talk about with Batman Urban Legends. But I mean, I think it's cool.
Only thing I have one question. Batman now has the biggest rogues gallery in the DC universe, doesn't he?
I think he always did, but now it's become
now
bigger.
It's like he has like a league of villains on his own.
But that's okay. We did mention this a little while back about the originality of it, and it just makes for fresh and new and different stories and not so repetitive. Like we talked about it before, like how many times can you see Joker, or how many times can you see this character or that character, right? And so
but other heroes
these characters adds a little bit of mystery to it, right?
But other heroes should get the same treatment, I feel also. So we are not like always seeing Lex Luthor or Metallo or Parasite. I mean, Superman could use a couple of fresh new villains that aren't Rogol Czar, but I mean, we don't have to worry about that anymore, do we?
Superman. Superman needs a lot more.
He needs way more. I think Superman has the least amount of supervillains at this point.
Well, now he's got his son, so I mean,
now he has a son that's going to probably be like the next.
And maybe Lois. Who knows? There's so many potential villains.
Comics are fun. Says next week's it's Batman versus the Window Washer.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope Kite Man makes an appearance too. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Kite Man's gonna be the new mob boss in Gotham.
Honestly, let's see it happen. Where all he wants is like kite stores. I'm here for that. So moving on to, I guess we'll combine these two things, or maybe three things. But let's do two, and then we'll do the other one. DC and Marvel same week announced that they're both having Pride Month anthologies, which is really cool. DC, they have Harley Quinn, they have Midnighter, they have Jesse appears in it, and then Green Lantern, and then Marvel was a little bit more secretive with their lineup. They're like, Carolina and Nico's going to be in it, and I think
probably Iceman.
North
Star.
Yeah.
Julie was on the cover, but she'll probably be ignored because that's what Marvel does.
Yeah, maybe Prodigy.
Hulkling and Wiccan.
Yeah.
Hulk, they were mentioned, and actually the Young Avengers creative team is coming back for them. So that's
that's cool.
So the original creative team is coming back. But yeah, super excited. I will be getting all the Pride covers. I'll be getting all the anthologies. I love these characters. And, I would say this is the first time I've really seen the mainstream DC and Marvel celebrate queerness in this level, because the last time we saw it was Love is Love, and obviously that was for a horrible event, which was the Pulse shooting, and the proceeds went towards the Trevor Project or whatever it was. So it's like really nice that we're celebrating the LGBT community for something that's happy and not a tragic event, and I think that's so cool. And I hope we get to see that more often, and maybe every Pride Month would be really cool. And
I feel like obviously they're going to come up with something at the same time because it takes place, at the same time, but at the same sense, you would probably maybe Marvel and DC would put aside their differences and come out with great comics, and then worry about anything. It's a great thing. And it's, I'll be definitely checking it out and see what it has to offer.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of those characters don't get the spotlight a lot too. So, because a lot of them are lesser known characters, like North Star and stuff. Even though they're becoming more prominent now, a lot of them haven't gotten a lot of spotlight, I think, in the comics. So
it's kind of interesting to look. I mean, DC, I do think there's been more queer characters in the last couple of years, but if you look at Marvel, there actually hasn't been that many. And you look at Carolina was the first lesbian character ever from Marvel. That wasn't that long ago. Yeah. So it's just to look at that, and I hope Marvel actually does better with representation. I think they've done a good job, but I think maybe, I don't know. You look at Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, they get the spotlight a lot. So it's can these characters also get more spotlight and get more comics? So hopefully with the anthology, and Sarnia mentions the new Captain America as well, who is going to be written by a queer creator, which is the writer of Iron Man, which I think is really cool. So a lot of good promise, a lot of great covers, and I'm stoked for this. I
think when it comes to Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, they're front and center. So they're high-profile A-lister characters. Sure. So they're obviously, when you see that, they get a lot of attention. Whereas for Marvel, who is their biggest representation?
Well, I think the big issue is, look at Kitty Pryde, who is bisexual. They made it canon. They won't talk about it. They're like, she's bi. We won't say that word. We won't mention it, but for the people who want her to be bi, she's bi. So I think it's those type of characters. They need to, put it in the narrative that they are queer, kind of like Alan Scott. We talked about this, but I thought the Alan Scott story was so wonderful because it was written by a queer creator. It felt very queer. And then you have Kitty Pryde, which again, it doesn't have to be written by a queer creator, but explore her queerness, talk about it. Don't just have her kiss a girl and do nothing, not even talk about it after. We haven't seen it in months.
Yeah.
Same for Star-Lord.
Yeah, I think Iceman's probably the most prominent one there.
And when have we seen Iceman?
Right. I would say North Star is the one that they've shown the most of, but it's nobody knows.
But he's not that. Again, everybody knows Harley Quinn. Everybody.
Right, exactly.
Not everybody knows Kitty Pryde. Not everybody. Maybe a lot of people know Iceman, but if you read the comics today, you don't know that he's gay because they don't ever show him, in a relationship or anything like that.
Right.
So
I 100% agree. Or just show him in general. We'll even just say that. I think Iceman doesn't even have a story, not even the side note of in a relationship or talking about his queerness. He just doesn't have anything. And I think that's such a shame.
Yeah. I agree.
They did Iceman so wrong. They did such an injustice when it came to Iceman.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
The new Captain America, since we mentioned that briefly, I think that's a cool idea. The way that story's coming about, because it's all the Captain Americas like Bucky and Falcon and Cap and I forget the other one, but they're all like going on this road trip or something, and they come across all these people that have been inspired by Captain America, and that's one of them is the LGBTQ Captain America that they're introducing, right? I think that's how I read the article. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I read, because I know in the headlines it was like they're an advocate, but then I also saw on like Twitter that they're also queer. So, but also it goes back to I hope we get to see more of them, and it's not just like here's this one shot, we'll never see them again. Let's like give them a story and like be a part of something.
Yeah, for sure.
So going into also celebrating Pride Month, Crush and Lobo is getting a miniseries, which we knew about, but now we actually have the creative team, which is Mariko Tamaki, who is a queer creator. And let me see who the artist is. The artist who's done Nightwing and Wonder Woman, but I don't know the artist in particular. But the art looks cool from the images we have here. But yeah, Mariko Tamaki with Crush and Lobo. I'm so happy that she's getting like kind of her own series in a way. I definitely think she deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. I really like Crush. Crush really grew on me through Titans. At first, I wasn't sure how to because I hate Lobo, but Crush is Crush is her completely own character, and I really came to like Crush quite a bit. So I'm excited for this too.
It's going to be an interesting mini.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see. Well, I mean, it'd be cool to see father and daughter, right? I think. That's kind of cool. You know, you knew those two. You know, obviously were related, and you got a little bit of that backstory in the Teen Titans series, and now you get to explore that relationship a little more. And I think that's kind of important for both characters to grow a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gives those characters more depth. So I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So going into some Batman news, and I guess also the CW news, because we actually didn't talk about this with the DC Pride book, but actually Nicole Maines, who plays Dreamer and Supergirl, she's writing a story for Dreamer in the DC Pride Month anthology. But then we also have the Batwoman's Luke Fox writing a Batwing story in Batman Urban Legends, which will also be a short story, which I think is interesting. So you're actually getting the people who play these characters on TV to write the comic. I don't know. I think, either way, you can say, oh, well, how about the up and coming writers? You want a spot for them. I say anything that we always say this, anything that brings more readers to read books, like super fans of these actors are obviously going to read these books. I think is great.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. You got to have more awareness for the comics. And like you said, if these actors are writing these comics, then their fan base are definitely going to check them out at the very least, and maybe that'll make them fall in love with comics and the medium and those characters and seek out more. So cool. All
right, and then another Batman news that the Court of Owls is going to be in the Batman the Animated Series sequel series. So it's been announced that they're getting a sequel. I personally didn't love the original, so I don't know if I'm getting this, but cool. Question mark?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Cool question mark.
I didn't love it either. It just, I don't know what it was about it. It just didn't quite capture the animated series for me.
It felt very two-dimensional in all honesty.
Yeah.
A little boring.
Yeah, and maybe even a little, it wasn't as deep as the animated series, so it just, it was lacking a little bit, but I still think it's really cool to bring the Court of Owls into that world. Mm-hmm. I would love to see that actually animated, but
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, if you bring in the Court of Owls, it could be kind of cool. Maybe this second one might be a little bit better. You never know. Maybe the art could be a little bit better also. But if it's a little bit more in-depth story, it might truly be better too. I mean, the other story had some Deathstroke in it, and it had some, Jason Todd and stuff like that. And I liked it in the beginning, but then I kind of fell off of it too. It just didn't really keep my interest all that much.
Yeah.
So we're going into the most anticipated news piece of of the week, which is the close of the X-Men Gala. So
You have to screenshot that.
Oh,
yeah, you got to
I am.
screenshot.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, so now they're on the red carpet somewhere.
Yeah.
they're
Let's
at
get
the
this done.
Oscars or whatever.
Let's get the true party started.
Yeah,
I am ready. Let's see if I can scroll down. All right.
this is
Now
interesting.
First we got Storm. Her name is Storm. Oh, let's see. Okay. There is her costume. Her cape is a cloud. I actually like it. I think that's cool. I think she has a cool costume there. I don't know what her hair is doing, but
Her hair
I like
is
her
more
cloud.
like a cloud too, and then it
Yeah.
like goes into a storm cloud.
Is that her new power? Maybe
Yes.
is that she becomes a cloud?
Oh.
I don't know.
This girl is on cloud 9 instead of this girl's on fire. I mean, the artist that did these is Russell Dauterman, which I think we all like. So I mean, that's cool. But yeah, it's
Her cape represents maybe lightning, right? I mean, also 'cause you
Yeah.
get to see-
the yellow through it. Yeah,
she's got those thigh-high boots.
She does, and those heels. The
Those
heels
heels
are
are-
nice.
Yep, those are.
I don't
pretty
know
high
how she's
heels.
walking. Yeah, because there's this like little curve also, so
Man, how
that's
do you
very
battle in
interesting.
something like that? Like, how do you run? I guess you don't need to when you can fly.
Yeah, there's no excuse for. Well, there is an excuse for Storm, so she's okay. Let's move on to Jean Grey. She also has heels though, but she can also fly.
it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
seeing
she's got
this
heels.
Wolverine
She's
ad.
sporting the low back
many ads.
dress,
Yeah,
and got the cape going with the which looks like almost a 1980s headband.
yeah. There's a lot of '80s influence in all of these. I think.
Yeah,
I wonder what the gold represents. Is that following her during the ball? Like that's always in front of her.
Oh my god, that's weird.
It's interesting that they're keeping their general color schemes and their general outfits, just kind of amping them up a little bit. So
Don't know how I feel about the butt cape.
the
But
butt
cape-
cape.
I mean,
I don't know
it's
how
at the
she's-
top of her butt. I mean, seriously.
It's yeah.
It's called the train.
Yeah,
and
it is.
I
Yeah.
like butt cape.
Her butt cape might be a little hard to fight in.
That's what we should have
my
titled this episode.
Yeah,
Jean
butt
Grey's
cape.
butt
That would
cape.
have got people.
Yeah.
Everyone won't click on the video.
Yeah,
They're like, This is
exactly.
the episode I do avoid. All right,
Right.
now we got some guys' fashion, and let me tell you, he's not dressing up as well
Oh
as
my
what
he
is
goodness.
up
looks
with
here.
that?
What is this? What is that visor?
What is
I
anything
don't
of
know.
that?
He's like a football player.
The-
Like he almost has a face mask, but
The only
This
thing
is
he's
not
missing
flattering.
here. The only thing he's missing here is tails on his coat.
I
that would set it off. Yeah.
think my only compliment is maybe his hair. His hair looks okay.
here we go.
Yeah.
You know, we got to talk about the hair. That's okay.
what's the highlight though with the glove? Like they make it a thing to show him the yellow portion of the glove,
I think just
Yellow.
because he has yellow in his costume usually, and they're like, look, yellow.
and you can't complete the X. Like the X has to have like a little blue portion.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Look at that.
Yeah,
It's fashion.
interesting.
He's been
Yeah,
working
not-
out his thighs quite a bit there. They're
He doesn't
pretty
have a
good.
butt cape though.
He
I'm
is.
sad.
No, he'll
I'm saying
steal
he needed
jeans.
tails. Yeah.
Tails will work.
Does.
Tails will work. Yeah.
It actually does kind of look like he's about to get married. Like, especially the back. If you only look at the back, it's like, okay, that kind of looks like a suit. Not a good one, but he really looks like he's coming out of an 80s movie. Like a,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even know what that visor is all about. I really don't.
I
And
don't.
also, how does he even attach it to his face?
It's just like a
It's
band
over his
on your
nose.
whole head.
It's over his nose and it's not even attached to his ear or anything. It's just
I-
kind of floating.
I don't understand any of this, but it's.
He almost looks like a poker player, like those old school.
Oh yeah,
your
yeah.
visors.
I kind of like that idea a bit more. Like he's just really good at poker.
Poker
So
clock.
that's Cyclops for you. Now we're good. This
Yeah.
one is
Oh, okay.
interesting.
This-
Yeah, we
this
got
one's a
Rachel.
problem. This
That
I'm
is,
scared.
This is
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna.
What
get
is with the pointy boobs? I gotta point that out.
It's
Well,
the Madonna
you know,
look. 80s.
she really wants to get Kitty's attention, and she's just like, "This is it. This is how Kitty will love me."
I'm just happy she's
Dominatrix.
got,
This
she's
is
got
what-
baby with her. Yeah.
She took her hair off, and she's holding her hair. You recognize that?
Oh wow.
She's holding a piece of hair.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
that is
leash for baby.
disturbing.
Wow.
If anybody's reading X Factor, that's baby. That's her little alien dog creature thing.
The baby is very cute. I do not know why the baby needs to have a leash hair.
This is my least favorite costume out of every single one.
This is, you got to admit though, you would see these kind of costumes totally at some kind of 80s party.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I want to say, what were you gonna say, Mike?
I was just gonna say you can't even come close to her though, man. Yeah, she would
No.
poke you in so many different ways.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'd just be walking on the other side of the room. Yeah.
Well, the question is she evil? Is she not? With those teeth, that crown teeth thing. Wow.
Yeah, she's definitely playing up the what do you call them? The what
hound?
was she? The hound. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hound aspect.
Is she a hound again?
This is not her OG costume in any way.
Yeah, her OG one had less spikes, I would say.
Yeah,
you got to go back and do your own history learning.
And no hair leash. No hair leash.
Yeah. Like I said, this is them dialed up to like 100.
Let's go to Angel, who
I didn't even
Angel's
see this one
casual
before.
now. He's
Yeah.
like, check me out. I'm casual Angel with my pajama pants.
Angels is a little bit better.
Angel is like, I couldn't be bothered, so I just threw on my
he's
pajamas.
this is after COVID. He's like,
Yeah.
this is how
Yeah.
I dress now.
Is he wearing a coat? Is
Is-
that what it is? A coat?
It's like a cape.
Does it have stars on the? It's hard to.
Well,
side of
no,
it,
it's
yeah.
X's. It's
X's. Oh, it's little X's. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
I like the yoga pants. No, I don't. I really, but he looks better than Cyclops.
It would have
Yeah.
been perfect if he was wearing sandals. I think that would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, the sandals would have been good, but it does fit his personality. It's like it
They would have
works.
fell off. He was flying though and hit someone in the head.
That's true.
So can't do that. All right, we're moving on to the next one. Oof.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Okay, this one is definitely competing with Rachel's costume. Here we go.
This actually makes. I will say though, like this is something I would see on a red carpet. Like I wouldn't be
Yes.
surprised. I would
Oh,
see
yeah.
this at like the Grammys or like something like the Met Gala.
Late-
Like this
Lady
at least
Gaga.
makes sense.
I don't even know who this is.
Very Lady Gaga. This is Penance from X Corp, they say, or X Corp. I don't know what they're
Oh,
calling
the
it.
book I'll
Okay.
be flipping.
This is it Monet? Monet Saint
Monet.
Oh, Monet. Is it Monet?
Monet.
she
Saint
change her
Croix.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben's outfit. There we go.
That definitely fits her personality too. That makes sense.
I
mean,
like
there's
her like
nothing
little
wrong
veil.
with it. It definitely fits like a dinner outfit.
Yeah.
Like Kat said, something as an award show. There's really nothing there.
Oh,
the only thing
totally.
that's really extravagant is the headpiece.
The
Yeah.
paper mache headpiece, the veil leggings.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. You go to the Kentucky Derby, you're going to see headpieces like that too.
But look at the pointy gloves as well are very interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
I still say Rachel wins at popping balloons. With her.
I think that is the contest. Oh, now we got a very British outing here, which is
Betsy.
for Captain Britain. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like she's going to see the Queen.
Is she back?
I guess so.
I think we
Yeah,
all stopped
you're
reading
right.
it. Yeah, that's
This
interesting.
is an event that I think I'm
kind of
gonna
reminds me of a touch of like Sailor Moon with the
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was
a little
thinking. Like, yeah, totally anime influence there.
Yeah, it has a little Japanese and British influence,
Yeah.
which is actually kind of interesting. You're gonna skip
Yeah.
the event, Chris?
I don't know.
But all right, so the one reason not to skip it is to see who fans voted in as the new X-Men member. 'cause I
No,
really
No,
like-
True,
I want to
okay.
see the outfits in action. That's the
Yeah.
Yeah, I
reason.
would like to see the outfits in action as well a little bit.
All right, next up is our girl Rogue.
I'm
Rogue,
not gonna
That's,
lie, I
that's
actually-
looking
I
hot.
like
I
this
like
one.
this
Yeah,
one.
I like this one.
this one's cool.
I'm liking like the underboob type thing going on.
This-
I like the laces. I mean, if you that's the design.
Yeah, it's kind of like what people in the '80s thought the future was going to look like, and that's kind of what this design reminds me of.
The collar does not look like fighting ready.
The
No.
Oh
color-
no, but I mean they're at a party.
Too.
Right? They're not trying to fight.
But they're at an X-Men party.
Well, that's
and
true.
there's gonna be a fight.
Boots look comfortable though. Like that's the one fighting boots. The gloves look comfortable. I like it, Rogue. You go.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
her pumps definitely match her gloves, like that style. Her hair looks good. The sunglasses look good. All around so far, overall, best looking character.
I can't wait until we do the best, the hottest, the
best
least
dressed.
hottest, and the best dress.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do that at the end. Oh, my girl Kitty is not the best dress, but
She just grabbed.
He never is.
Throwing
Let's
between
be
the
honest.
breasts. What?
A
She's
for
staying-
effort.
She's staying true to kind of like what she is though right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get the pirate.
I like her
influence.
other outfit more though.
It's pretty
Yeah.
plain. She's just got high boots, some off-colored reds going.
I like the concept of the two types of dresses sewed together there. And,
The mask makes no sense. I don't really.
What do you think about her
I am
hair?
not a judge of fashion.
The hair looks nice. The hair actually looks very nice. It also has a little Japanese influence. It has like little chopsticks in the back.
Yes,
That's kinda cool.
comics are fun. Yes,
I
they
would
do call
like
her
to point
Kate Rat.
out that she's on the Wolverine cover, so we don't get to see what Wolverine is.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he's going to be the best dressed. Well, also, they said here that Emma helped her get dressed for this, so I kind of like that. note.
Emma's is
Speaking
interesting. It's a
of-
three-parter.
There's multiple parts.
Emma
I'm
went
so
well, I mean,
excited for
Lady
this.
Of course.
Gaga.
Of course, Emma's going to be the one that has multiple outfit
And of
changes
course, the
throughout
X is right where her boobs are, as always.
I love that, though. It
Yeah,
makes sense
she's
to
like
me.
a freaking snowball. That's what she
I
is.
love it.
it.
I'm in
Snowball
love.
with boobs.
Snowball with boobs. I love it. I think
Butt
that looks
cape,
great.
snowball with boobs, heels all over the place.
She has a
Spiky
cape
boobs.
everywhere, so she's
Yeah.
just all cape.
And
This
then you
is
get-
wow.
Yeah, the diamond form.
That's what
Now
she
that
reveals
woman
the
is
cape.
yes. That, yes.
I like that. I don't get her
That's-
shoes.
Yeah.
I don't-
Are they shoes or are they like socks? Like
I hope they're socks. I don't even see where her feet like
I don't
end.
either. It's like, okay.
That outfit's very Emma though.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tied to the feet. Yeah.
Love Emma. And I think those are all the outfits. Oh no,
Yeah,
there's a
one more-
part
one more
three.
Emma.
Oh, there's another
Yeah.
one. There's that nightgown.
Yo, that's her best one though. I love that.
That's
I really
impressive.
like that one.
That's impressive. I can't wait to
Wow.
see when these are
Look at those
finished.
platform shoes, man.
That's what the
Emma's
part 2 is
got it
hiding.
going on. Emma wins.
She really does. Oh yeah, so like hottest, the worst list. How are we feeling? Who's the best? Who's the worst?
Emma gets best.
And Cyclops gets worse, I think.
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Mm.
Rachel and Cyclops are a toss-up for worst.
I gotta go with Rachel for worst. She has a leash with hair.
Yeah.
Might be my worst. My best, I actually think is between Storm and part 3 Emma.
I see the like
Hmm.
Rogue. I like
Rogue.
Rogue, and I do like Storm a lot. Storm,
Yeah.
Storm's cool.
Yeah.
Storm's really
artistically,
cool.
it looks really good, and it goes with the character.
I like Penance too. I think that was it's kind of a classy outfit, that one. I like Storms as well though.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our fashion show.
Oh, God, yeah, that was fun. Let's never do that again.
Hey man, there was
So
nothing
more
wrong with that.
fashion.
That's a good
Oh.
laugh right there.
We're
Yeah.
going
That
to
was.
totally do it after the event when we see how
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
else
yeah,
is
yeah.
dressed.
Because that's just some of them. That's
Yeah.
not even all of them.
I hope they don't-
Wolverine, we gotta see what he's dressing as.
God. I hope he
Right?
comes out naked just because he doesn't want to be
Magneto, like what's he gonna do?
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Sinister.
Oh, Mr. Sinister. Oh
Will
man,
he
I
dress
can't wait
up?
to see that.
Oh.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to this gala now. Now we got clothes, we got a fashion show.
I think
wow.
the greatest thing is like we get to make fun of it, and I think that's kind of what's gonna make it so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know, I
gotta
think
find-
you're right, Mike. That's what's going to make this event worth reading.
Yeah, you got to find the silver lining out of all this
Yes.
weird storytelling, right?
Yeah. And
I hope they make posters of all those characters. And
yeah.
then Mike could put it in his background like a fashion show while we're doing it.
I'll say one of the funnest things about drawing is like coming up with costumes and outfits and that kind of thing. So from that aspect of it, it's kind of cool, getting this play around with something that you don't normally get to do. So
We had a lot of comments throughout, so we
Yeah.
appreciate all that. It seems like everyone had an opinion as well on what was hot and what was not. But yeah, let us know what outfit you would wear. What outfit out of all of those would you guys wear? Which is the one? I think I would wear.
I mean,
think I wear
most of them were very feminine.
Wear
So I
robes.
think I'll
Serenity goes. I got to see
Angel.
what Professor.
I'd wear
X
Emma,
knows,
you know,
you know?
I'll wear angels. I don't care, but I would definitely put on the flip flops because I would want to go with a full Greek look.
So you're Angel.
I'm
Brand
Emma
is
number
Emma.
number 2 with the
Emma number 2. Oh,
go with that.
Yeah, with the middle boob.
Yeah.
Not the one where you get to see all the boobs.
With the after she takes the cape off, but before she puts the gown on. Yeah, that middle.
Okay,
one.
but
that's
part
where
3, she's also like, if I'm guessing, if you look on the side,
Oh, that's true.
you're gonna
So-
see a lot. Yeah.
Either
I
way,
like
then,
Emma
you know.
3 the best. That's my favorite.
Emma 3 is definitely for me, for sure. Who had the Jean? Who was the one who also had like the bottom boob
butt
outfit?
cape?
The butt cape was
That was
Jean.
Storm. I'm sorry, Rogue.
That was
Rogue
But she
was
had
nice too.
She had
an
the butt
undergarment though under
She
there.
did. It looked classy for her, but
Right.
you know, got to go for Emma too. She just looks classy no matter
I'll
what.
just go like Wolverine. I'll show up naked. There you go. I don't have to worry.
He's definitely going to show up naked.
I
I'm very
hope so
excited
now.
for this.
I hope so. Just to throw everybody off. I hope so.
He won't be invited.
You ain't coming, Logan.
You're not invited to this party.
He'll wear a tie. He'll wear a tie,
and that's it.
and that's it.
That's it. Is cleavage her new mutant power? Comics
That's
were
been
fun.
there.
Have you? Yeah, that's always been her power. That's just
Always.
everything.
I mean,
That's
did you miss the issue where she actually exposed herself to one of the guards? Like,
Oh yeah.
come on, that was classic right there.
That was Marauders, I think. I
Yeah.
think it was Marauders.
Yeah.
What about Laura? Laura is stuck in a vault for 10 years.
Laura's got a gigantic collar right now. We can't
Poor Laura.
come to the phone.
She can't dress up, and
I wanna
she's
see
not
what-
upset about it.
I want to see what Dazzler dresses like.
Oh, me too. She comes
Right?
as a disco
Oh,
ball.
man.
She's just a disco ball. I'm excited. I'm excited for all these new outfits. But that was the news. So we're gonna jump into, well, first of all, speaking of outfits, if you want a girl who doesn't dress up like Emma, go check out The Dancer, which is my Kickstarter going on. That was a great transition. For sure. But yeah, go check out my Kickstarter, which I'm trying to screen share. It just launched yesterday, and we're doing pretty well. It's only been a day, and we're almost at 200 backers. And I will be giving a free comic to anybody on the show. Just let me know if you've backed it. I will give you guys, I gotta show you guys the cover, Killaroo Scars. And the artwork, honestly, looks really cool. It looks like a fun concept. So if you guys want to get that comic for free, just let me know that you guys backed it. And of course, we'll be doing the ticker tape at the bottom as well for whoever backs it. The book's about a dancer/assassin who is forced to deal with her childhood trauma of witnessing her parents' death. It's a 4-issue miniseries. This first issue is all in color, and there's only 24 hours left to get the early bird special. So hopefully you guys could go check that out.
Cool.
So we're going to pass it on to Brand to do our Comic Book Weekly segment, our audio and also, video segment. But this is from the Kickstarter. We actually have a graphic novel to review.
Yeah, so Karl Kesel backed the Kickstarter at the level to have his graphic novel reviewed, and he picked his own book, which was Volume 1 of Impossible Jones. So we all read that over the past week, and we're going to talk about that. So it's a fun book, and he actually, before we get into that, he has Volume 2 live on Kickstarter right now. So if you want to go check it out, we'll try to toss in the link at some point. But it's I think it's called Impossible Jones, something in Holidays, Impossible in Holidays.
Basically, volume 2.
I'll post the link.
I said basically volume 2.
Yeah, it is Volume 2. So, but I mean, it kind of continues off, and he's a big Harley Quinn fan. So Holidays has a lot of Harley Quinn in her, and it as you read this book, it's a lot of almost like Catwoman and Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going on there.
That feel to the art in it has that feel as well, where you kind of felt like, she was a Harley Quinn character, like you said, and like a Batman animated feel to it. That's what I got when I was reading through it. I got that feel as well, and the colors are really bright and vibrant. So that's what I got out of the character when I first started reading it. Of course.
Yeah. So basically, without giving the whole thing away, basically she's a thief. This girl Isabel, and she gets caught. She gets betrayed by someone that we still don't know exactly how or what happened by the end of this, but she gets caught in this accident, this lab accident, and gains these powers. And he's also a fan of Plastic Man, and that's kind of
I love that. That was my favorite part. Was the influence of Plastic Man.
So the power sets in general, I thought was really cool, and you could, like you said, you could injected a lot of different characters, but it felt unique in its own way.
Absolutely, but the Plastic Man especially, that stood out for me with the hands and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, and not just the hand. I mean, just the whole the origin story and everything. Mm-hmm. It was a thief, gets has that happen to him, and then kind of gets mistaken as a hero, and by de facto becomes a hero. The twist here is she's still a thief and wants to steal stuff, so it's very Catwoman-like mixed with Plastic Man, throwing a little Harley Quinn there, and it is. I got that animated series vibe from it too, and it's very fun. Holly Days is a interesting character because she's Christmas themed, but she steals all year round.
It's a great name.
It's a great name. And they're friends, but she can't let it on because she's got to be cool with the superhero group now. And there was an interesting part where she was wondering why people can't recognize her, and it was this whole thing where you reconstituted yourself with the face you thought you had, but you never see your face truly as it is. So I thought that was interesting. It was an interesting way to hide your identity. But it was a lot of fun. I thought this whole story, and a lot of background detail in this graphic novel about how it came to be, and what the influences were, and all that stuff. And I'm looking forward to Volume 2, which again is live on Kickstarter right now.
You get a lot of bang for your buck for sure. You get a lot of story and a lot of movement in the story.
Something pages.
Yeah, 160 with all the back matter.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, each I think there were 4 chapters, and they were each 24 pages ish, somewhere around there long. So a lot of story, but it's one of those fun semi-quick reads because it's it's just kind of you got a lot of banter and a lot of fun bouncy dialogue going on between the characters because it's meant to be a little bit tongue-in-cheek too, I think. So yeah, it was a really fun read, and thank you, Karl, for allowing us to check that out because it was a pleasure.
Highly recommend the book. Definitely.
Thank you.
I agree. And go check out the Kickstarter. Like we said, it's doing extremely well, but that's really the best place to support, creators is through the Kickstarter for sure.
Yeah.
First volume, get the level where you can get both books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting because he says it in Volume 1 where the actual first Kickstarter he ran for Volume 1 actually failed, and then so then he came back and changed his strategy a little bit, did some crossover prints with other Kickstarter comics, so he kind of ingrained himself in that community, which I thought was really cool, and then gained momentum and an audience for that, and came back and killed it with Volume 1. Now he's killing it with Volume 2, which is currently at 22,000. So
that's awesome.
And he's only been in it for a week, I believe. So he's definitely tracking for a really good number, and it shows. I think when you fail, you learn from your mistakes. You can't continue to do the same thing over and over again. You have to talk to your peers and figure out what to do next. And that's exactly why he has such a success story.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's still 22 days on the clock, so you got plenty of time. Go check it out. And we definitely recommend it here at Comic Book Weekly. I ran out of words there. Comic Book Weekly. Let me get that.
Breathe.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now, before we get into the under the radar, we actually do have a question from BJ. What's the major difference between Scott Snyder, Grant Morrison, and Tom King's Batman run? Man. I think they all have such unique voices.
Let's take Grant Morrison out because that's its own thing. Scott Snyder's run.
Why do you have to take it out? They're all their own thing.
Yeah.
Wait. Are we talking about Grant Morrison run where Dick is Batman?
Yes.
Oh,
that's what I assume.
And the whole entire. Did he? I'm trying to think what else he did before
That's what I'm trying
RIP.
to do something in the New 52 because if we're talking
He
about
didn't do the New 52, but I'm trying to think what stories, like big stories, he did before our RIP. Did he do No Man's
he did
Land?
Batman Inc. He did RIP and he did Batman and Robin.
He did definitely do Batman and Robin.
Yeah, he definitely did Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin was good. I like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I like Batman and Robin. I thought it was New 52. So I would say Grant Morrison ended pre-New 52. He had a good run with Dick as Batman. Scott Snyder over Tom King. Scott Snyder, we got the Court of Owls. We got so many things introduced during the New 52 that added to the Batman mythos that when we went back to the regular universe, translated into the regular universe. Tom King had a story that was too long, I feel. And
I think Tom King, it's interesting because they all have I would say Grant Morrison in a weird way. Like back then you wouldn't think this, but I think Grant Morrison took a traditional superhero sense and into his Batman run, even though back then it didn't feel that way because he did do a lot of like jaw-dropping moments like killing off Batman and making Dick Grayson Batman. But then you look at Scott Snyder, who was very much about world building. He created the Court of Owls, he created Talon and all that. And even like breaking down Batman, which I think every Batman writer does, but he literally made someone else Batman, and he was able to be happy.
He made Gordon Batman. Oh my god!
He made story arcs really long, like 0 Year. That was really long.
The whole 0 Year. I forgot about that. Yeah,
he did all that too, and then he had to deal with the whole New 52 when it was completely changed, when he created Commissioner Gordon as Robo Bunny Batman. So he did that as well. So he got mixed up in that whole craziness.
Yeah.
But I liked Snyder's run, but I thought his run, certain story arcs were too drawn out in many ways.
His run is better looking retrospective, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't as enjoyable as I was reading it.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about the Court of Owls being added to Batman the Animated Series. When you leave your mark on a title like Batman, to that point to where your characters, your creations are getting used over and over again, and they become so synonymous with the character, then you definitely left your stamp there. And I think that's his, to his credit, that's one thing he definitely did was add to the mythos of the character. And you can say that with Grant Morrison too, because I believe he created Professor Pig.
He created Damian, didn't he?
Yeah, and Damian.
They create Damian, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, those and Tom King, as great as Tom King is with certain characters, I just feel like with Batman he didn't do a whole lot.
Well, it was Gotham and Gotham Girl and like
that's true.
Yeah,
right from the beginning, and you thought,
but they don't do anything with him. Yeah,
there was a lot of speculation there, and then look what happened.
Yeah.
I liked Gotham Girl too, and I thought like as it went along, it's just like you don't know what to do. Like he created the character, I didn't know what. He didn't really know what to do with the character.
Who created blue hair girl? Oh god, why did her name? I had
Scott Snyder.
Harper. That was Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder. Okay.
Going into Tom King, I think he tried to make a very emotional story, and for half of his story, he did a really good job. But it was too drawn out, and I don't think there was a finish line. There was no ending.
Yeah, it was so drawn out that you lost interest in it halfway through, and it never picked up steam. It just kind of had that steady crawl to nowhere. They ended up, like you said, there was no finish line, and now we got Batman Catwoman, and it's like totally not the same thing.
I dropped it.
Yeah, I know. So it's
I'm
yeah.
gonna see where the next issue goes before I drop it.
I may all add it back in the big books because I was gonna drop it off because only Brant was reading it, but if Chris is reading it now too, you guys can tell me what's up with Helena and her coffee dates because it's all that matters to me. But that was a great question. We'll get into Under the Radar now.
All right, Under the Radar this week. I want to go first this week because Deadpool's 30th. Nerdy 30, one shot, whatever. 30. Deadpool's 30 years old, apparently. Happy birthday, Deadpool. They're making a bunch of Funkos for Deadpool's 30th, by the way. I did get
Doesn't he have enough?
Are you kidding? You know how many? If you own every single Deadpool Funko, you're either our friend Eric Radcliffe or you have a full freaking shelf. They make Deadpool Funkos like people, what's a good analogy here? Like, they make Deadpool figures every day of the week. Let's put it that way. I have no good analogy for it.
That's a great
too many
one.
Deadpool Funkos. I have no analogy for it. There's just too many. But I did get the birthday cake one because he's turning 30 and I'm 5 years older than Deadpool. That's kind of scary. But anyway, This was great. It was a nice mixture of stories. You got classic artists coming back. There was a story about this was the first book I read. I read it last week, and I wish I could remember the whole thing now. But there was one where he was a prisoner, one where it takes place during current day Deadpool, one where he's hopped. The first story was when he was a baby, and Cable kept coming back and either saving him or killing him. And then you just had like a dozen different Cables showing up, and then he just blows them up at the end of the story, I believe. It was fun. If you're a Deadpool fan, you're going to want this book. I loved it. It was a fun read. I don't know how much it was, but it was an enjoyable first read of the week for me. I really did enjoy it. And I don't really read too much Deadpool anymore. But for this, if you're a Deadpool fan, get the 30th birthday. It was fun. It was a fun read for sure. Nobody here read it except me. So
no, I didn't touch
and that's
it.
okay.
Nope.
Deadpool.
I wasn't paying for money for Deadpool. I've gotten
First
so many
Deadpool.
times.
First of all, yeah, it's Deadpool. And then second of all, it's an anthology. That's Deadpool. That sounds even more crazy.
It was a lot to read. I remember that. It was a lot, but it was fun. I just can't remember everything in it. So with that being said, Mike, do you have an under the radar this week?
I actually don't, because all the books that I did read is not something that is worthy of under that radar status for me. And Brant's going to mention his, which is going. I'm going to pass it on to him. Which
okay,
is
fair enough.
Taskmaster.
Okay, Brant.
Yeah. Taskmaster issue number 4, which.
Nice.
Good. I'm glad you did. I don't think it was the best issue of the series, sadly.
Yes, I know. I read it, and I was like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?" But
it was still good. You know, it just I don't know. This one was kind of a. It was a way to get from one point to the next in the story.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the series so far has been so good. But at the same time, I still love the fact that he put himself in. You know, he invaded Wakanda of all places and got taken to their dungeon and had to fight a bunch of their people just to get this Kinesic imprint of I can't pronounce her name, but Akoi, something like that. But yeah, just to get her signature and then escape so they can continue with their master plot here with Nick Fury. But it was a nice little kind of sidestep to his mission.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still enjoyed it quite a bit. But this,
it was a point A to point B type of issue, to get to the end game, I guess you want to say, in this series. And I agree, it wasn't the strongest issue. I don't think anything will ever top that second issue. The third issue was good, but the second one was phenomenal. And but it will be interesting to see how this wraps up, because I read the description of the next issue, which is coming out not tomorrow, but the following week. Basically, obviously, it's something is going on where I saw this coming, where somebody set him up, because he didn't obviously kill Maria Hill. So we got to find out who that person is that set him up. Now, is it Nick Fury himself? I'm curious to see.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah. All I know is he's scared to death of Black Widow, and I don't blame him. And Chris, you got to go back and read the second issue, though.
I will.
It's Taskmaster versus Hyperion.
Oh, I got to read that.
Yeah, it was so good. But yeah, no, it's still a solid series and solid issue. It just I didn't have anything else under the radar that wasn't in big books, so
Gotcha. All right, Kat, what was your under the radar this week?
Mine was Serial Issue 2. Brant, did you read this one this week?
I did read it. Yeah.
It was good. There's some unexpected stuff. We get to see our main character's best friend, who's like 30 something. I keep forgetting that she's older than she looks. Yeah. So it's kind of cool that she had a friend where she could relate to and understand that she's not a child, but then she dies. So, and then, we kind of get closer to this serial killer, and it's a fun book. It's a little bit of a slow burn, but I like the character building here. And they gave us a little bit of a glance, I guess a look at where the series is going. Cause also I still don't really know what it's about, besides maybe this is a serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's got to be a serial killer, but I didn't like this issue as much as the first one. I thought the first one was a lot stronger. but I agree. I did like seeing her friend and how those two connected and why she was even involved with the serial killer to begin with, and that made it connected those dots for me. So
it was a lost opportunity to kill the friend though, because I feel like a book needs someone to talk to, and who's she gonna talk to?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, with that is all of our under the radars this week. So I believe we're going somewhere else before we move forward, correct?
I mean, we could do it now. I think we're doing. Which part are we even doing right now?
Yeah,
this is the contest, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yes, we're doing a shout out later. Contest time.
Yeah.
Contest. Yes.
All right. So if you guys go on to, is it iTunes? Is that where we're?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go onto iTunes and you leave us a positive review, we're kind of bribing you. If you leave a positive review, this helps us really get the podcast out there to the audience. Let us know that we exist. And, hopefully you leave a written comment too. It will enter you to win in a Batman giveaway that I came up with. It's funny. I got two contests going on, one for my channel and one for this. But this is what I called the Batman giveaway. And I'm going to show it on the screen. And then, of course, I'm going to say it out loud too, so you guys can for audio. But the first one we're going to get is the Batman issue 106, the variant cover, the wraparound for Infinite Frontier. So we're going to get that. Also, you're going to get the Gotham by Gaslight trade. So it's a classic story, Batman story here as well. And then also, you're going to get Battle for the Cowl. You're going to get issue 1.
Ooh.
You'll get issue 2. You'll get issue 3. So you get those 3 on top of that. And wait, there's more, because we really want you to get some 5-star reviews here. Continuing with Battle for the Cowl, we have Azrael Death's Dark Knight. So we have issue 1, 2. It's a nice looking cover there. And 3. So we have those 3. And then last but not least, we have Batman for the Cowl, Oracle, The Cure. So we have issue 1. These Barbara Gordon covers are pretty nice. You got issue 2. And then you have issue 3 where she's crying a lot here for some reason.
That's a good story too. That's a big Oracle story.
Right. So that is your Batman prize pack. Those are all the stuff that the lucky winner can get. So hopefully you guys will go on to iTunes, give us that review. We'll really appreciate it. And once again, you could be entered. And I think we said that this contest is going to last for 2 weeks, and then we'll draw the winner, right, Kat?
Yeah, the exact date I think is April 6th, so it might be 3 weeks. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be 3 weeks. So April 6th is going to be the last day that you can enter a review. And just that way we know who's connected to the review. You can email us or message us in some way and say, I left a review under this. That actually helps us a lot as well. But yeah, leave us a positive review and we will enter you into this giveaway.
Battle for the Cowl, really good story. So you're winning something really awesome right there.
Yeah. I have the trade as well. So, I had those single issues. So I was like, you know what? I think it's a perfect gift to give away for somebody that has never read that story before.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Very cool.
Okay, so I guess now we're going into big books and top 5.
All right. So let me do the switch over here. So yeah, guys, this is a part of the show where, of course, we talk about what we consider are the big books of the week and our top 5 comic books of the week. You've been warned. There's going to be definitely spoilers in case you have not read these issues yet. So here we go. Let's talk about the big daddy of them all this week. And we were all kind of on the fence about this particular book when it first came out or before it came out. And this is the Joker. This is issue 1. So and this kind of goes, obviously this goes with our title, like will James Gordon kill the Joker, right? So I really like this issue. I wasn't a huge fan of the punchline story. I think it like kind of takes away. Like I got all into the Joker story, and then I was like, oh wait, now I got to read about Punchline.
I skimmed through the Punchline one. I was surprised by that because I thought I was gonna like Punchline. I liked her one shot somewhat, but yeah, it was kind of boring compared to the actual story.
I was surprised they're going to use Harper to be her like they're going to be more nemesis. They're going to have.
They set it up in the one shot of something like the brothers involved in the Punchline stuff. So I think they just want to use Harper.
One of Punchline's fans or whatever is the guy that her brother's dating, right? Is that what it was?
Okay.
Yeah.
But going into the main story, I really like March's artwork for this book. I think it actually works really well here. I love seeing young James Gordon, how he was told the story once about the boogeyman, and he's like, yeah, you're going to meet your boogeyman one day, and it winds up becoming the Joker. Joker's been a thorn in his side his entire life. And, really, when you look at Commissioner Gordon, he's been the commissioner for so long, but at the end of the day, what has he really accomplished? It's like he's been doing the same thing over and over and over again. And by the time he comes to retirement or he's quitting, he's got really nothing left to show for it. He's got no retirement. It's just kind of a sad story. And he gets presented this opportunity to go out there and kill the Joker. And I thought the cool mystery of this was this female, because I don't know who she is.
I think she's new.
Yeah. And who her family is, like where she comes from, like why does she have this hit on Joker and whatnot. And it was a very interesting story. And of course, he hasn't made his decision yet on what he's going to do, but nevertheless, you would think that he's going to make that decision to go and actually go through with it and kill the Joker. But overall, I thought it was a well-written story, very intriguing, very mysterious. Why they want Commissioner Gordon, it's so weird why they would not call Batman, but I thought
maybe because he'll kill him. Maybe he actually will.
I'm telling you, that person that's with her, that's Bane.
That's what I thought too.
It's Bane.
But Bane is dead.
No, yeah, he's dead, all right.
Why he's hiding his face? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's Bane.
That's
he's probably
interesting.
stuck in that Joker-eyed face. That's why he's wearing the mask.
And Bane's upset after what Joker did to him. I like that idea. I think that'd be really cool. I think I do think I had a slow start. I really like this issue, and I think I'm 100% here for issue 2. I love how horrific it was. But for people who wanted this book to be about the Joker, they might be a bit disappointed. I'm not one of those people because I don't think a Joker book works, but I could see why people would be disappointed because it's not really his book. It really is a Jim Gordon book, and they're like, well, we can't call this Jim Gordon because no one will buy it. But if we call it Joker, people will buy it.
Well, what they could have done was gone Jim Gordon versus Joker or something like that. But
I still think because this is an ongoing Joker book, it's selling better than even a Jim Gordon versus
I still love it. Yeah, I'm still behind it 100%. I don't care.
As long as they pop him up every once in a while, like he showed up at the end. So, I really liked it too. And I just little things like mentioning that he's been dyeing his hair for the past few years, and it's silly now, so he's not going to do it, and things like that. It just kind of added to where he is in his life right now. And again, if that is Bane, now I'm wondering if, like, because Jim Gordon's a cop and a detective, maybe they just brought him in to find the Joker because they can't get a hold of him, and they don't really expect him to kill him. Maybe they just want to find him so they can kill him. Especially if that is Bane. So that's a thought too.
I agree with Manos. Are we sure that was the actual Bane that we saw in that issue?
Right. I mean, we don't know. Yeah.
And also going into our main discussion, which is, do you think Jim Gordon will actually kill the Joker?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I think he's going to try.
Yeah. You gotta think about everything the Joker's done to him and his daughter, and his city, and everything he's tried to do and tried to be the upstanding, perfect cop, the one that, puts all the other cops in line and all this stuff. It's like he's going to be torn between what's happened to him personally with both his son and his daughter, and, this moral code that he lives by. But, when faced with that opportunity to kind of kill that demon that's haunting your dreams, it's like, I don't know. So it's a good question.
I really like that cliffhanger though, and like even if it doesn't happen, the thematics in a thematically how that connects to it all, I'm totally in. I'm totally in for that second issue.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be a good series. I can imagine him at the end like having an opportunity to kill Joker, and then he doesn't do it.
Yeah,
he's like,
I hope it's not that
everything from me. You took almost my daughter's life. You took everything from me. I'm an old man, and then he has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah, it's Jim who dies.
That's the twist.
So, anything else about Joker or Commissioner Gordon or the possible outcome of this book? No? All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about Children of the Atom issue 1. Yeah, we go from such a great book to a book that was a mess. I
didn't hate it as much as you guys.
I didn't hate it as much as you guys either, I guess. Okay.
I did not hate this book. I think that the book has potential. I just think being that this book had delays, and it was late coming out and just all those other things, I think it just got mixed up. I just think that it didn't, I don't know. I think it had a lot of opportunity to tell a story about some of these kids, and I think we could have done more in the first issue than what it actually accomplished.
So I like the characters, and I like the plot of them.
I don't like the characters.
Okay. So I like the fact that we don't know if they're. I mean, we're told they're mutants, but they can't get into Krakoa, and they keep
That's
trying.
What's interesting. Because
it's their costumes. I think.
No,
it's their costumes.
well, supposedly, I think it's like the House of M stuff. It's like they probably were mutants, and then House of M started, and now they're not mutants.
But then how do they have powers?
The costumes.
They don't. Yeah, that's all technology.
Oh, you think it's all the costumes? Okay.
Yeah. And I think that was said somewhere because I saw in a review. They're like, and they had laser beams in their costumes. Yeah. So I think it was confirmed that that's not powers.
Okay. So I mean, that's what I liked about them. But like the villains they fought were throwaway.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't know. Just something about it was just not complete for me. Like you said, Mike.
It was disjointed, it felt like. Because right away it goes into this battle. And if you have a brand new characters and you go into a battle right from the start and you see a panel here, a panel facing this guy, and this person does this, and this action-packed scene happens, and this happens, and you're like, whoa, who's this person? What are their power sets? What do they do? And you're just like, and it goes on for pages, and you're just like, okay, what's happening? And then it just stops, and then you get these weird different characters where some of them interact with each other, but you don't really know their personalities. Like, Beatrice, like she's sitting on the bleachers talking to her friend, which is like supposed to be like the Gambit character, and they're talking about going to a Dazzler concert together and about the dude that plays basketball. And then you got the one guy who's like, well, you mutant lover. It's just like there was just so much randomness in that book, and it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
That's what took me out of it. They never really focused on any one character or any one direction, I found myself
until the end. Yeah.
I agree with that. I think what I think has potential and why I would get issue 2 is because like thematically, this is such an interesting series. Like,
right.
We're so much on Krakoa. It's kind of cool that there's an actual series that's not involved in all that. But I agree. I think none of the characters landed. They're all like, I didn't really get their personality at all, and I'm very worried for the rest of the series. Obviously character is the most important thing.
It's okay. It's just going to be a mini series.
Well, that's true. You never know.
You got a sense of some of them, like the Nightcrawler one. He's like the young, fun-loving. You got like a general sense of base personalities, but nothing deep at all.
Yeah, nothing that you want to like. Oh, I got to read this next issue. I need to follow this character. I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know if there's been a recent example of that, of new characters that just like. I guess Teen Titans, but that's not even a recent example. But they did a good job with that.
But and what makes it more frustrating is she had a lot of pages to tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was like disappointing as all can be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that last thing about not being able to get into Krakoa was the interesting thing. And then the one interesting, we had to strike it from our news, right? Because it was like a non-news thing, the different pages between the print version.
Yeah. Because it wasn't actually, so it was a news story, but kind of not, because I think it was just by accident. So I think they must have had a different version of this book before COVID, and they released that one on Comixology.
There was a rewrite.
Which I think was proven with the Comixology version, because they must have released a previous version on Comixology, and then, obviously Print had the most recent version.
Yeah, and like the last page, it was exactly the same. It was just a far shot instead of the close-up shot. So it was like, But so that was the only interesting thing for me. Like, really, it's like, why can't they get into Krakoa? What's up with that? Are they like Kitty? No, we still don't know why Kitty couldn't get into Krakoa.
They tried explaining that one.
Yeah.
All right. So, any other Children of the Atom talk? I'm gonna try issue 2.
I'll try it.
Me too. Yeah. I feel like you have to with the premise, right? The premise was promising enough. We do have a question. What if we want to enter the contest and we're not Apple users? Is there a way an Android user place a positive comment on your podcast? I think, does the Spotify have a review section?
I don't know. We are on Spotify, though, and we're also on iHeartRadio.
I think they're in both.
Yeah.
So we're on. Are we on any other platforms? We're on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah, we're on a bunch of like smaller ones. Like I think anywhere, Stitcher, any place that you find podcasts. Just those are like the bigger ones that we're on.
Yeah, anywhere you go, or even honestly, if you guys want to leave a social media review, like if you really can't find a way to do iTunes, just show that you shared the podcast in some regard, the audio version of the podcast, and then you could be entered in the giveaway as well.
Cool. All right. So I never got a chance to read this book. And I wound up getting it, and I looked through it, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening in this book? So this is Carmen issue 1.
I didn't read it.
It's a weird one. It was really weird. So it's the artist who did the Joker. So the same artist who did Joker is also writing this book. And he did a story about this girl who's like with this guy for a really long time in their life. And this guy is kind of an asshole to her and like cheating on her throughout their life and whatever. So then halfway through the book, there's this like ghost version of her, and it looks like she committed suicide. So she's like following her ghost version, and it was out there. Particularly wasn't for me. Didn't really like it, honestly.
Yeah. It looked quite disturbing because I flipped through it and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I saw what I thought was a ghost version of herself, right? And then I thought, okay, did she try to commit suicide? And it was just, it was a very graphic book. This is something that you don't want to read with children around or people very sensitive to stuff like that. So I was like,
and there's no trigger warning from what I saw. I missed it, but there wasn't like you open up a page and be like, hey, we talk about these topics. It's just kind of talked about, which I think comics should be better with that. I think with something like that, it should be like, hey, trigger warning, but maybe you don't want to spoil it. I don't know how to really go around that. But if you pick up a random indie like this, it's it's a little jarring. Right. Yeah, I could totally understand that. All right, so then let's move on to our top 5. Chris, I'll start with you. What was your number 5?
Number 5 goes to Deadpool's 30th.
All right, Brant.
Mine is Batman Urban Legends.
Mine too, Brant. Is this gonna be a similar week?
We were talking about this before the show.
Yeah, we did a little bit. So the only reason it's not higher is because that Black Lightning Katana story it keeps coming up. And
Grifter, I honestly wasn't as involved.
I like Grifter more than the Black Lightning.
Yeah, I like Grifter. I've always liked Grifter though, and I thought it was interesting that it seemed like he took the identity of his brother. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting, and I enjoy that. But really, the the meat of this was the Red Hood story, which was fantastic. And he ends up killing again, which then he immediately regrets it. And
in an alley, and
in
does
an alley.
It's pretty much like he became Joe Chill. And I'm like, ooh, that was really interesting.
Yeah, Batman's not going to get triggered by this at all.
Oh no, not at all.
Fine.
Yeah.
And then someone's an orphan. Like the whole story built up with this kid.
Oh, God,
and I'm like,
right. I forgot about the boy too.
Yeah,
Batman's gonna hate him.
Yeah, it was a really good story.
Yeah, I even love the flashback to young Jason and their relationship, and how Batman mishandled that even after Alfred called him on it.
Yeah.
And just it was so good, the story. I would read more of this alone.
We have 6 parts of it, so the next 5 issues will be Jason Todd.
I love it. The only reason why I'm not happy with this book is not the stories; it's the price tag. I'm sorry, $7.99. DC, you guys are getting a little. I mean, we used to talk about Marvel being money hungry. A lot of $7.99 books coming out of DC Comics now, and there's 6 parts to this.
So I see the positive and negative of this. Like I see what I liked about this is that we're seeing a very different world of Batman that actually affects the Batman universe, right? These are not one-offs. These are like, if you want to see Jason Todd, this is a story to see what's up with Jason Todd. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate they're giving enough room for characters that might not have a chance to shine, like Grifter or people that are fans of Black Lightning. But I do agree. Like, I don't love it being $7.99. And maybe this is better to make it like chapters digitally. I don't know if this is a digital first book. This actually would probably be a better digital first book.
I will be picking this up as a trade. I will not be picking this up in single physical issue.
I am getting it single issue, but I will not be getting it printed just because I don't need that in my collection. But I want to see what's up with Jason. I also really like the Harley.
Why.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jason and also whoever else shows up. I really like the Harley and Poison Ivy story as well.
That was a good story too. Yeah.
This is like the first time I dealt with their relationship, and I really loved like the little nuances of like, oh, like how can a flower hurt you? And it's like so obvious it's about Poison Ivy, and then they kind of give you like this open-ended thing of like, yeah, they might come back, but you have to be patient. I really like that. That was a really cute story.
Go, Brent. Go.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for some reason, in my 4 months away from comics, I grew really close to Red Hood, the character, for some reason, and I just started reading.
Yeah, I love Jason. I think I think he's great.
Going back to the Harley, artistically too, I love the way that they differentiated between the past and the present with the coloring. It was just a really well done story overall. But go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say we have a comment from Tevye, which I do want to mention. Kat said stop. He said, "Kat, stop supporting expensive books." I think there's certain ones like the anthologies, right? Like I don't love unless you love a character, like the Catwoman anthology, even the Generation Forge stuff. I didn't think it had a meat, or it didn't really feel like it was connected to anything. But books like this, where it really does feel like the Batman universe is trying to be more connected, I'm behind. And you know what? This is like a 70-page book, so it's not like you're paying $8 for 22 pages. Like there's a lot there, and you're supporting characters that normally wouldn't have a place to shine.
I agree with what you said, Tevye, though, because I mean, some people like certain $10 books. Kat hasn't supported every single expensive book, and to be honest,
by any means,
if anything, all of us have spoken at some point. I mean, Mike has even done a whole video on his channel about the expensive comic book. So by no means are we saying buy every expensive book. Me personally, my pockets and the way I feel, I want to get this book physically. I just would rather get it as a trade. Kat's getting the single issues. We all collect in different ways. Honestly, I like the way trades look. So if it's not something that I absolutely 1000% want, if it was just the Jason Todd story, a $3.99 book, I would absolutely be getting this as a single issue because I like Jason Todd. There's just so much in it. It'll read better as a trade also. I think all the stories separated, put together, and you get from end to end each story.
Yeah, I think it's a case-by-case basis and based on how you like to read and how you like to collect and what kind of stories you like. So for something like this, where the majority of those stories felt like they, like you said, Kat, meant something to the greater Batman side of the universe, and they're characters that I enjoy reading, then I don't mind paying that,
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'll read the book as long as the main story is good. Like, being that this was Jason Todd's story and it was 6 issues, I was like, okay, I'm on board with this. I liked the Harley story as well. That justifies that how much was it?
$7.99.
Yeah, that justified the price tag for me. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But same thing. I mean, I made it a thing myself that I'm going to cut a lot of the anthology books out. That's just one of the, like Deadpool, for instance. Like I wasn't even touching that. Like I wasn't even considering that book, you know? So, but something that has Jason Todd in it where you don't get to see a lot of him, I think it made sense to check this out. And the story was written very well because Chip Zdarsky wrote this story. So that's the main reason why I wanted to check this one out, was because we know how he writes Daredevil right now. And so he writes this character just as well. So very emotional right from the first start. Yeah. So really, really good book. I'll support it as long as that Jason Todd story is good for right now. And then we'll see where it goes from there.
I hope after this this mini we get another Red Hood book. I'd love to start a Red Hood
in this vein, and if it's
in this
vein,
with Chip Zdarsky.
I love that. We actually we have a comment from Tevi I do want to read. Wait a second, then why can't we have a Tim Drake book? This is the type of book that is giving us characters we can't. The characters doesn't like hold the sales, right? Maybe Tim, for in DC's mind, doesn't hold the sales for his own ongoing book.
He did,
but this is the type of
horrible.
Exactly. So for this is the type of book where if you support this, you'll get a Tim book, you'll get a Tim story, and that's why I kind of want to support this. Not kind of, why I am supporting this, because it's cool that we're getting characters like maybe Stephanie Brown will show up in this, like characters we don't have an ongoing book for right now.
I agree.
Right.
I think out of everyone, Damian, Red Hood, and Nightwing have the right. They have a place in their own solo series. Tim, Titans, or in a Bat Family book. Tim, for some reason, just couldn't hold his own. And I loved Red Robin for a while, pre-New 52. I did love it for a while. It was just started to drag after a while. It was hard.
I don't know about that. Tim is my favorite Robin.
I loved him. I loved him. Yes.
I think done right, he could hold a book on.
But who's selling better, Damian Wayne or Tim? Damian's
absolutely. Damian's going to sell. Yeah. Red Hood's going to sell before. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand why he doesn't have an ongoing. But yeah, me too. Tim is my number one Robin. I would love to get to see more Tim stories.
Real Manos is right. He did a great 20 years as Robin. Tim Drake as Robin. The Robin series, I literally went on eBay and bought the entire run.
Yeah,
it was one of my favorite Robin series. So
that was also when he was also more involved in the Bat Family. There was connections to the actual Bat book. But if you had a Tim book now, it might be like Young Justice. They're not really connected. He's doing his own thing. But that might change. Right. You never know. I'm sure Tim will get another book of the future. But this is the place where you'll start it. Maybe Red Hood does really good here, right? And he's like, oh, we'll make an ongoing because a lot of people love this Red Hood book. You got to experiment a little bit. And these are the type of books to do it. And these are the type of books I'll support.
Yep. Yes. Good point. So did everyone get their number 5 in?
Did I? Oh yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have an order this week, so I'm just going with your guys' flow. I did read those books though, but I never got a chance to put an order in a top 5. So I really like that book. I couldn't say that would necessarily be probably any higher on my list either, just because of the high price dollar and some of the other stories that I didn't care about. Right. Okay. So next, let's move on to Daredevil issue 28. Who read it here?
I read it, man. You'd be lost after that. There's a lot that happened. I would read the last. Just up to
start with 25. That's where I started. Yeah.
You have to read that.
He's in jail. I remember he was going to turn himself in. I stopped reading.
Elektra is Daredevil now.
That was a jarring thing.
Yeah. Start with 25.
Starting with 25.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a good
story.
I
wrote this issue not knowing anything. I was having a good time.
Oh, if you thought this was good, you're going to love those previous issues.
This was a point A to point B issue. Even though I liked this issue a lot, I really liked the emotions from Matt finding out that even though that guy was horrible, he felt this really guilt. He's like, it's my fault that he died. And then Elektra, you see the parallel of that, contrasting that of like how she deals with this girl who lost somebody. It's like she's a little bit more tougher about it, but she still kind of cares about this girl. Really interesting issue. And then Daredevil gets poisoned in the end.
Yeah.
He gets poisoned. But and also it was kind of cool to see how they touched on the after effects of King in Black, on how they're struggling once they've been separated from their host, which I thought was very interesting, and no one has really touched on that.
Yeah, and I also like the connection that they're building up between Mary and Kingpin.
Mhm.
That's interesting. How much he's caring about her and her well being and all that. And yeah, it's such a good book, and I love the Elektra part too, where she's tough on that girl, and she's just like, the girl's like whining about it, and she's like, shut up.
It's like, can we see the next Elektra in the making?
Oh yeah.
Didn't even think about that. That's really cool as well.
Just think about it. She's 16. She's 16 years old. This young girl.
She has nobody else. Yeah.
Elektra was in like what? She was like 18, 19 when she became Elektra. Or I mean, she's always Elektra because that's her name. But the assassin Elektra.
Before she was the assassin.
So we could be seeing a next generation of another type of hero to maybe join this book. So look for it. You never know. There's a significance with this character because we all were like, why is this girl in this book? Right? And now she continues to be in the next issue. And now you make it, you hear that she's taken her kind of under her wing. So I think there's going to be some significance with this character.
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
we should mention if you read Mark Waid's Daredevil, Kirsten came back. That was kind of cool. I like seeing her. She's the girlfriend from that run, and she's like the other lawyer. So
she's
it's kind
the
of cool.
lawyer. She's the lawyer. Yeah. Great book, man. I can't wait to see what happens with this one.
Yeah.
I am so happy I started reading it. And I started reading it last year when COVID first started because everyone told me about it back then.
I remember.
Yep.
And then you got me to start reading it.
And I told everybody, I was like, you guys got to read this. You guys got to read this. And finally, you guys all are on board with it now. So now we can all talk about it. So great stuff there. All right. So let's move forward. I don't read this, but the next one is Mighty Morphin issue 5. I'm going to grab a drink of water.
So glad I have someone to talk about it with.
Yeah,
Chris, were you lost or?
I wasn't lost because I think this was like a repeat. Like they went back and did Matt's point of view, correct? Of him revealing himself to Angel Grove and the world, and I guess they repeated everything that's happened in the series since issue 1, but from his point of view, right?
Not even. This was just like a new start. They yeah, because his reveal was from the last issue. We didn't know it was Matt. I guess kind of they did it from issue 1, but yeah. Anyways, this was like kind of his origin story, and I really liked it because it made sense for his character. He is the character who was always lied to, and he's like, I don't want to live a lie. I want people to know this. I want to help people, and I thought it was a really cool origins, and I liked it. That was a good issue.
I thought it was really good too. Loved the origin of the powers, how he got the Dragon Zord back, and how now they've injected him kind of into the original 6. Now there's 7 Rangers. It's going to be so Power Rangers are now completely deviated. They've completely deviated from the original Power Ranger universe. This is a completely new universe. So anyone
even better than the original, in my
absolutely.
opinion.
Oh, definitely. But I'm saying now fans who watch the series on TV as kids, this is something completely new. So you can't say, oh, I know what's going to happen, or I know that this person's going to leave, or that. Now it's completely redone all over, and it's really good. I like it.
Me too. Good stuff.
All right. So that was the Power Rangers. So let's move on to number 4. Kat, what was your number 4 this week?
Mine was the Joker. We already talked about
Mine too.
Oh my God.
You guys are like before the show. Let's make sure we have a top 5.
You guys are going to laugh, but I just look, mine is Joker too.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, Mike,
I will say I don't.
Mike, you read Joker. Make it your number 4, and then that's really cool.
I really like Joker, man. Honestly, I think it was probably my favorite book out of all of them, between that and Daredevil. But I really liked it. So, but cool. All right, so I guess that made it easy for number 4, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on now. Let's talk about a book that. I don't know. I hate saying this, but I was so right. I should have never bought it. I said I was not going to buy it, and then what did I wind up doing?
You're happy you gave it a try.
I bought it
I'm
because
glad
I wanted to give it an honest try. Wonder Woman issue 770. It was like reading flipping Groundhog's Day, but in Wonder Woman version, and I was just like, I'm done with Wonder Woman. The only Wonder Woman I'm going to be reading is Wonder Girl, Yara Flora. That's the only one I'm going to read. And this book was an absolute bore fest for me. I
I could have warned you about that, Mike.
Get into this, and I was just like, and then when I hear similar storytelling, it just, when it comes to Thor and Wonder Woman, it just, I don't know, it turns me off. I just don't like it at all.
It definitely reminded me of a Thor book.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
I will say that's the reason I didn't like it. It was a Thor book. The only thing I really liked was the art. I thought the art was really good for this book, but the story did nothing for me. I was like, yep, I guess I'm not getting the next issue.
I mean, it does seem like a short thing. Like, she's got to find her way out of this, right?
But either way, this is how you start.
Yeah.
I mean, I get your point. I didn't hate it as much as you guys. I don't think.
I don't think I hated it. I actually
gave
it 3 stars. I just don't think it was for me personally.
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't think it was quite that boring. I mean, but I agree. It's not exactly my flavor either. I'm hoping after this, after she gets out of, where is she?
I don't even know. Hala, I think, wasn't she?
Hala, yeah. After she gets out of that, maybe it'll get better. But it was still interesting to me. It's like, why is an Olympian in the Norse afterlife? What is going on here? Well, yeah, but it's like, okay, so and then their version of Thor, which is completely different, obviously. But I thought it was interesting at the very least.
I don't know.
That next issue.
I just feel like for one of your most important characters,
anniversary too,
you need to kick off something a little stronger than this.
I do agree with that.
And I'm not trying to dog on it, honestly. I'm really not. I just, I expect Wonder Woman to be one of their top tier books. It's the biggest selling, character for their movies right now. And it's just like, and you kind of open up like this, and it was kind of like a dud. And I mean, I'm glad you somewhat enjoyed it. I know it wasn't your favorite, but I feel like there's something that maybe they could have done better with it. I did not expect her to end up where she ended up, after the whole situation of, Death Metal, and Infinite Frontier issue 0. It was the last place I expected her to be. But we'll see what happens in the future. And I guess, Brant, you're going to have to tell us, when we get out of the story arc, where does she go and if it improves for her.
And if we should read it.
If it doesn't, we might be having a completely different conversation. Yeah. I want to give it a shot, because I want to be reading. I'm definitely going to, I'm like you though, Mike. Yara Flor, when that comes out, that's, I'm definitely going to be there. But I want to read a Diana book too. It's just.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
You should. She is the real Wonder Woman. So, she belongs in the universe and she should have a good comic book.
Right. I agree.
All right. Let's talk about this one. Curious to see what you guys all felt about this. So I know Kat wasn't a fan of this right from the start, even before the issue came out.
Right.
This is nonstop Spider-Man. This is issue 1. Now, when I read this book, I couldn't even. It was like a comic book, just all over.
It was nonstop.
I was like,
to say that.
I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? He's whipping everybody. He's fighting this person. He's fighting that person. And granted, I told you guys last week, I am looking forward to the action. I am excited about it. However, it was just too much. And
that was my worry. And it was exactly what it was. Even the book was in an angle to make it look like it was going faster.
He's twipping all over the place. He's fighting these red other characters. And it's like someone died by taking these drugs and he met this random girl. And then all of a sudden, in between all this action, I'm going to a wake. And then the next thing, he's fighting more people and he's going into more action. And it's just like, oh my God, just stop already. Like, it's enough. And I kind of get what they were going with it, because by the time you wind up getting to the end of that first story, it was like a teaser trailer almost, right? Because it showed like that movie poster, and it was like nonstop Spider-Man, blah, 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 blah. And then you kind of then it slowed down, and it got to the part where kind of what this story is going to be about. Now, you may not care about this character, so you'll fall off of the story completely. But me, I found it kind of interesting. And we get, what's it, Baron Zemo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get Baron Zemo in there. And we get to see Hydra, and we get to see this new version of Hydra. And they're like, oh, there. And here comes Baron Zemo just doing his thing and kicking everyone's butt. And I thought that was kind of cool. And for me, that's the type of action that I like to see. The art was very clean. You can make out what was going on in the book. And that was good. Bocciolo's artwork was just jagged, rigid. And, some people may have liked that. But for me, I just didn't like it. But I did like the second part of the story. And that makes me want to continue to see where this leads into. So I will be continuing reading this.
I thought
I'm stopping Spider-Man. There you go. Tell us, Chris. Tell us how you really feel.
I didn't like the book at all. I do not like Bocciolotto's artwork. I'm sorry, that ruined it. And I got halfway through the book and I was like, yeah, I'm done. This is not for me.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I didn't go in with an open mind, granted, just because, like I said, I kind of knew what the book was going to be about, but it was very rushed, exactly what Mike said before, and it really didn't give me enough for issue 2. I'm like, I'm buying too many books, and also I could kind of see why this book was delayed. Is this really going to affect anything? Like,
it's Bocciolotto's art.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of his artwork either, so
he's not going to be on the book the whole time, though.
But he'll probably be a revolving artist. So he'll be on for this arc, and then we'll get 5 issues of not him, and then we'll get more of issues of him.
I liked it.
That long.
It's a mini.
I really liked it. Honestly,
Ooh,
I mean,
really liked it.
I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with this book. It was just I love the fact that it was nonstop. Like, literally, that there were these villains that were giving him such a run for his money that he could not stop. And no matter what he did, he couldn't get away from it. It just kept coming and coming and coming. It just added this suspense and this intensity to it that I appreciated. And the designer drug thing, it's like, okay, that's a fine plot. That's that's where this is going. But I also agree. I like the Baron Zemo thing. I thought that was an interesting comeback for that character, and that I
love that part.
Yeah, that he's visiting all these Hydra cells and taking them out and trying to find the worthiest, and he was awesome in that scene.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or hate his agenda, obviously, but man,
he sliced that guy's head off.
Yeah, it's like, dude, don't mess with Zemo.
I think I'll come back when Bocciolotto leaves to see if I enjoy it. And if he's revolving, I'll just read whatever story he's not doing.
If you tell us that the book's amazing, I'll pick it up. But if it's nonstop, then
yeah, Brand, I think me and you always I think you always like Bocciolotto. I didn't.
Yeah, I always like Bocciolotto. So
we'll see where he goes. That's it. I'm looking forward to Baron Zemo. I want to see what he does with Hydra, how he brings it back, how he tries to take down Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's the artwork that I liked. Was that?
Yeah, I like them both.
So wasn't that Greg Land? Was it Greg Land? No, it wasn't. It just looked kind of.
No, it's not Greg Land that does that. I forgot his name.
It looks very similar to his art style. Let's see. I don't know if we have his name in there, but whatever. It's not Greg Land, but the artwork was better there.
All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about our number 3. Number 3, Kat.
I'm with Serial, so not Brant's.
Oh,
no.
It changes there.
Yeah, where it changes because mine's nonstop Spider-Man.
Maybe number 2, though. I'm curious to see maybe our number 2 will be the same.
Maybe.
Batman Urban Legend was my number 3.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Spider-Man issue 61.
Let me just say, Hydro Man showed up.
When I was reading that book, I'm like, I almost text you because Hydro Man was in there. I was like, this is so funny. And then I read something else that had Hydro Man in it also. I'm like, dude, Hydro Man just making his appearance all over the place.
I wanted to message you guys, but I read it on Wednesday. I didn't want to spoil it for you guys, and then I forgot about it after.
The book for me.
Okay, let me just tell you this. I feel like Nick Spencer's almost pulling a Captain America at this point when it comes to Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because why Spider-Man has this suit is everything that Spider-Man is against, right?
Right.
He wears the suit because he's getting paid money to do it.
And he gets made a fool of also.
And he is freaking doing it as a social media thing. Like, cameras are following him around. He's doing polls. He's doing the joke of the day. When would Peter ever do something so irresponsible and dumb? Right? That just does not make any sense in my opinion. Now, the only thing I can think of is that the only reason why he wears this suit for 1 or 2 issues or 3 issues, however long he has it, is he comes to his senses and says, duh, what am I doing? Because you could see at the end of this issue, he's just like, oh my God, this is a complete distraction. And the people that I love are going to get hurt again, like Boomerang and Cog or whatever. And then he takes it off and realizes he's doing the wrong thing. Now, if he does not take this suit off and he continues to wear it, that's when I say Nick Spencer's pulling a Captain America here.
Yes.
Because that is not what Spider-Man is about. And so when I read this issue, honestly, I was kind of pissed off of it.
That's definitely understandable.
100%. It was very out of character, especially Pete looking at those figures on that paper. He's like, money?
Like, yeah, he doesn't care about money in that way. I like the Instagram stuff. I thought that was funny. But we'll see where it goes. I thought this issue was a little better than what we've been getting from the a entertaining perspective, like a dialogue perspective.
I get
not
that
plot.
Part.
Yeah,
I get that aspect. But when you go into the core of the character, the last time he did something for money when it came to Spider-Man, someone got killed, and that person was Uncle Ben. And so that's where I have a problem with this. And for him to forget that, that's stupid. That's really dumb.
So I'm just disagreeing with you guys on Spider-Man altogether this week. Because I really like this issue. This was like,
oh my God,
when I read this, it was like, okay, this is back to the way it was when I was liking Nick Spencer's run. This was fun. This was just, just fun and comical. And it's Jonah and Peter, teaming up again. And I just like the whole aspect of it. And it's like, no, he wouldn't normally do this, but he's kind of desperate. He doesn't have rent money. He doesn't have a job. And he's like, oh, I can make some money. And he doesn't exactly like what's going on as he's doing it. And he's going to figure that out. So I have faith in that. It's like, but, why not give it a shot and see what he can do with it? So I thought it made sense. I didn't think it was completely out of character. He's done stupid stuff before. And
he should know this by now. I do agree with you.
Super hard on Pete.
But like I said, when you make your point about the book being fun again, I understand that. Like, I totally get where you're coming from with that. And it being more entertaining. I get that too. And seeing the suit in motion and what it does and the publicity stunt that Nora is trying to accomplish with her paper, like, I get that too. Like, I like those elements.
Yeah.
It's the Peter thing that I have a situation with. Just knowing it's like, come on, Peter. Like, you're one of the most brilliant people in the world. You can't get a job anywhere, right? And you can't find a way to get money. So all of a sudden at this point, you're just like, oh, shit, the rent's due. I guess I got to get a job. And then right away you go call on the Nora Winters. But I don't know, man. That kind of bugs me a little bit. I just don't see, I wouldn't think that someone would go to that point where it's just like, oh, Peter would kind of do that for money. I don't know. That's just me though. So we'll see what happens though.
Yeah, and I get your point, and the fact that they included I just totally forgot his name.
Boomerang?
Robertson.
Hydro Man?
Oh,
No,
Robbie. Basically,
Yeah. The fact that they included him in the Daily Bugle and how they didn't like what they were doing over at Threats and Menaces kind of leads me to believe that Peter's going to find his way back there and find his way in all aspects. It just felt like, okay, this is a sidestep for Peter. He's, not thinking straight. He's desperate. He's, going out here, and this is just like it's kind of overtaking him. Jonah's energy is kind of feeding him a little bit, and it's just like, okay. And then he's gonna, like you said, he's realizing that his friends are gonna be in trouble, and he's gonna be like, oh crap, I did it again. And I can live with that. I'm good with it. So.
And then someone will die. That's important.
No, I don't know about that.
Wait. Listen, Mephisto and Dr. Strange are going to have it out, and then we're going to undo this whole thing. Pete's going to be married to Mary Jane. Aunt May is going to be 6 feet under, and whoever died is going to be alive again because it's just going to undo everything at once.
Issue 200.
There you go. Issue 200. Aunt May 6 feet under.
Issue 900 or whatever it is.
Wait, issue 1000.
Yeah, issue 1000.
Oh yeah, so many
That's
years.
where the marriage will come back, and Aunt May will be dead.
Yeah.
I bet the marriage will come back in the last issue of Nick Spencer's run.
They wouldn't have brought Mephisto into this if it wasn't going to lead to that.
And then the next writer comes on and Mary Jane dies.
And then Aunt May becomes the new Madam Web.
You know what? Makes sense to me.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
It would be a way to keep her alive.
We'll see what happens with it. Like I said, though, based off of the next issue or at the end of that issue, it looks like that, like Brand said, he probably will come to his senses because he realizes that someone is in danger, and it is a distraction for him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But
Debbie is being violent about Aunt May.
Yeah,
Aunt May better stay dead.
Yeah, right. Be dead. All right.
Good.
So that was The Amazing Spider-Man issue 61. So Batman Urban Legends, we talked about that one. So we'll jump on to our number 2. Chris, what was your number 2?
Superman. Oh, it was so nice to read Superman book again. It was so nice. I'm lost as hell, though, because John has grown up twice over, apparently. First was when he got older because Bendis locked him away with Ultraman. And then second time was when Bendis locked him away with the Legion of Superheroes. So he double aged. So it's like, I remember John when he was here and now here. And it's like,
Wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago. And it's like, what the hell happened? But I love
the artist of this book, the artist that did Family Tree. Or does Family Tree?
Yes, it is. It's the same artist.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
Bill
what I
Haster.
saw. I know I didn't read this, but I saw the artwork and I'm like, oh, this doesn't fit Superman to me.
That's exactly what I said. That's why I didn't get it. It was like,
okay.
See, it also looked more spacey to me, and I like Joe's writing, and I was like, oh, I don't think this is going to be for me, so that's why I skipped it.
There are these constant threats coming through this rip portal thingy, and Amanda Waller knows about it, and they go up and they fight, they come back, they go up and fight again. This time Superman gets hurt, and you see that there's like this disconnect between John and the Kents, and Superman's trying to him and Lois obviously have lost so much time with John, so much between losing him to the crime syndicate and Jor-El and then the Legion of Superheroes, that it's like so much has happened. He even tries to play acorn ball with him, and he's like, Dad, I'm not that little kid anymore. For you, it was a year ago. For me, it was years ago, And it's like, it shows you that there's a huge disconnect because of all the growing John has done in both a positive way and a negative way. And there's another rip portal that happened. He's like, Dad, I was in the future, and I know that if you go out there, you're not coming back. And I don't want to be Superman. You're Superman. And you can see that John doesn't want to be Superman, which I understand.
He's going to be evil.
He's going to be evil. We know that. But I mean, he doesn't want to be his dad because he feels, Dad, you're Superman. I know John is going to end up as something completely different. He's not like Connor, where Connor he just took in the role of Superboy, and he was happy with it. Even as a teenager, he kept Superboy. It looks like John, my prediction with John is if we keep him as a character for X amount of years, he's going to come into his own character, kind of like Damian, who walked away from Robin. I feel like John will walk away from the S and become his own character.
I think he's going to become Lois Man.
Lois,
he's just under the shadow of a Lois.
I don't know. I like the issue, and I like how it ends with them now going to the point where Superman is going to die. And then there's a backup story with Bibbo. I thought it was funny because we were talking about that like 2 weeks ago. Bibbo came up in a conversation, and Bibbo, Jimmy, and I forgot there's somebody else. Oh, and they said Metropolis. There's something going on, and it's like teaming them up for some reason. And I didn't find the backstory as interesting, but I just thought it was funny. It was with Bibbo in it. So I enjoyed this issue. I mean, it's nice. I'm glad Bendis is going to go focus on the Justice League for a while and give Superman a break. Maybe we can fix a few things.
All right. We'll see what happens with it. All right. Brant?
Mine's Daredevil.
Mine too.
Really?
God. What was it?
Daredevil. My number one's not going to be your number one, but that's trippy for sure.
I would say
this is not even a Runaways or
I'm
Power
just
Pack.
Say that Daredevil would be my number 2. That's funny, guys. That's great.
I wish you had a top 5, Mike. I wish.
I did. I'm sorry, I didn't, guys. I was on St. Augustine since Sunday morning. So, and I just got back like literally a few hours ago. So it was very hard for me to get things together in time. So I was lucky to even read my books. At least I got to do that and was able to have the conversation here today. But that's cool. All right. So we're going to move on now to Birthright issue 47. I know Brant and Chris read that book.
Yeah.
This was good this week.
I was bored by it.
You didn't what?
I was bored by it.
Oh my God, Brant has those
you didn't
weeks
like
where
about
he
Brennan at
disagrees
all?
with everything on everybody.
Yeah, Brent hates us. That's it. Brent is like opposite.
He loves
weird.
me this
The
week,
dialogue,
though. So.
the dialogue between I forgot what the general's name is, and Mikey was boring, but Brennan at the end of the book, looking to steal more magic.
But that was just the very end of the book.
Look, I haven't read Birthright in a while. Leave me alone. You read the last issue.
Yeah, but I have been reading it, and
Good for you.
This last arc has just been a bit of a slow burn, and I'm really hoping it picks up after this. Now that we have that reveal, so we only have 3 more issues to go. So hopefully that really kicks into high gear here. But these past couple of issues have been really slow for me, and this one was literally just those two sitting at a bar talking about life. It's like, okay,
what happened? Why is he a werewolf? I didn't get to read the previous issue.
When they fought the big war or whatever, he got like scratched or bit or something, and got infected. So he became one of the monsters that he was always hunting. That guy, so Boomer, I think his name is.
Boomer, yes. Twist of Fate. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, but just not the best issue of the book.
I just missed the series. I'm sorry. This was my number 1 also.
Yeah, that's fine.
No.
Glad you liked it.
No, you're not. You're a liar. You're a terrible.
I am glad you liked it.
God.
I love the series. I just didn't like the issue.
I know.
Brant always raves about this book series.
Yeah. I gave it a 3 1/4.
Oh, and a
1/4.
Gotta add that quarter.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's move on to our number 1. And so, like I said, if I had to rate a book, my number 1 would have been The Joker. I just thought overall, all the way around, except those last few pages of that punchline story, I thought The Joker was a great story with phenomenal artwork and just a really good cliffhanger for that story. I'm excited to see where it goes. And that's all I have to say about that. So, Kat, you're number 1.
Mine is Mighty Morphin, issue 5, so not Brant's.
Oh. Brant?
Mine is Amazing Spider-Man. I'm sorry, Mike.
say it was Birthright.
Oh. Hey, listen, if it's your number 1, that's great. Like I said, I understand. I totally understand the reasonings. I enjoyed it, those parts as well. Seeing humor in the book again is good. Seeing it not as dark again is good. I just didn't like why Peter was so desperate for money that he had to do something like that.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And Chris, what was your number one?
Birthright.
Okay. All right. So there are our top 5. So now I'm going to pass it on to Chris. Chris, you're going to be doing that chopping block.
Are we going into the other?
Yeah.
Okay.
But before we do that,
Sorry.
No, that's fine. We forgot to fill you in on that part.
Yeah.
But so we're going to do our live shout out for our Kickstarter backers. So this week we want to shout out, and let me type it up before I do that. We want to shout out, and I just fully
drum roll, please.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, there we go. We want to shout out James Powell from House of Fear. He's actually a friend of mine. He's editing a book I'm lettering, actually. And he also has a Kickstarter live right now for House of Fear Rubber and Glue. So, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, definitely go check that out. But thank you, James, for supporting us on Kickstarter. We really appreciate that. And there you go.
Thank you, James.
It's a good book. I've read it, and if you are a horror fan and also you want like maybe your kids to get into horror, it's a very good all ages book.
Yeah. And this is a book that's been published through Dark Horse.
Nice.
So go check it out.
Okay.
He also did a crossover print with Phil, so he's haunting. Yeah, so if you want to back up both those projects, I'll post Phil as well. You'll get the print of Bram, and I believe it's like the house from Jane's book.
Right.
Okay, so now I will pass it along to Chris, and he's going to be doing the chop.
All right, everybody, let's sharpen that chopping block. Here we go. So
mine's sharp.
Wait, huh?
I said mine's
really
sharp. I have a lot to chop.
We have, yes. I think I saw the list. This is going to be a high chop week for me. Nonstop Spider-Man. I couldn't get into the artwork, and I'm going to give Children of the Atom a shot. I'm not even going to half chop it. I was, and then I wasn't, and then I wasn't, and I was against. The hell with it. I'm just doing Nonstop Spider-Man this week, so I'm going to pass it over to Brant.
All right, so Children of the Atom is a half chop. I'm going to read next issue. If that doesn't, do it for me, I'll chop that one. But the one I am definitely chopping is Deep Beyond. It's the latest Mirka Andolfo book. I wasn't feeling it. I couldn't even remember what happened in the first issue and had to catch up. Even though I read it and liked it, I thought I liked it. But when I read this issue, it's just like, I got too much other stuff to read. I just don't care enough. So there it goes.
Mike?
I'm probably going to drop Carmen, even though I didn't read it. I don't think it's going to be my style of book.
I looked at it while you guys were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, no. It would have been topped if it was me.
I will probably, definitely drop in Wonder Woman. That's not a question there. We know how I feel about that. And Children of the Atom, I'm going to give it another issue, just like Brant and some of the others here. It considers another chance just because that first issue was so delayed. I feel like it needs a little time to develop, so we'll see where it goes.
And Kat.
In my long list. Carmen was definitely one of them. I wasn't a fan of that. Nonstop Spider-Man is a full chop for me. Wonder Woman is a full chop for me. And one we didn't talk about was Proctor Valley Road, which is a new Grant Morrison book. I wanted to try it because it's also a Boom book. And I was like, maybe it'll be laid back. And honestly, it was too laid back. I was kind of bored by it. There wasn't any attachment. There was no thrill. So I'm dropping that one. And I guess I'm half chopping Children of the Atom as well, because I only think
so. We all are half chopping Children.
Try. Yeah.
The children are getting if you add all of ours together, it's like 2 chops.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But I definitely want to give it one more shot. But if the next issue is exactly like the first issue, I think I'll probably
that might actually be if we all are in agreement. The first book, all 4 of us on the same show will chop.
That's true. I don't think that's ever happened before.
That's never happened before. There's always one person that doesn't. So this will actually be the first if we all are in agreement.
That would be interesting.
I think we are half chopping that one.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So I'm going to move it over to Brant now, right? We're going into most anticipated. Okay.
I believe so.
I don't know with all these interest segments.
I know. We're mixing things up here. But so we're going to talk about the books coming out, today and tomorrow. All right. So let's let's see. One of them got delayed, so I removed that if you guys were wondering what happened to it. It got pushed back like 2 weeks, The
I
Flash.
have no clue what book it was. So.
The Flash. Yeah. Iron Man. Iron Man number 7. I think I'm the only one that marked it. It's Iron Man.
I don't remember what part it's at. I think that's why, because I think the last issue was just like, I think Tony's head was off his body.
Oh yeah, he couldn't. Yeah, he had
They
to stay in
fixed
the
him
armor.
back up again. His friend survived.
Right.
I think they're going to be going now. I think they're actually going to space to try to stop him.
Space.
Yep.
I just want to see more Patsy. That's about it.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
and Tony too, but I do want to see Patsy.
It's a good series. We got King in Black Spider-Man. So more Spider-Man.
I just want to know what this is about, but at the same time, this feels like a book because King in Black has also been delayed. It's just like I kind of just want it to be over by now.
That's
so like,
how
much can happen here? But it's Spider-Man, so I'm gonna pick it up.
It's like you had to do a King in Black tie-in. I just wish they did more tie-in for such a major character towards Venom.
Yeah,
just the one issue towards the end of an event.
It's so weird that it
and
was
it's not going to be connected. Nothing's going to really happen.
Right.
It's almost an afterthought to have Spider-Man connected to a Venom story. It just makes no sense.
Right.
He wasn't really in King in Black that much. I mean, the main event, you saw him here and there, but definitely more of a Venom event than a Peter Parker event.
Mainly to tell Dylan, you don't have to do this. All right. Stick with the Spider characters. We got Spider-Woman number 10, which again,
last issue I remember ended on a cliffhanger. Oh, the daughter died.
The daughter died of Octavia. She wound up dying, and this is the last part of this story arc before issue 11, because issue 11 starts the new jumping on point and her going back to that classic costume.
I'm stoked for that because I love Carla's writing for Jessica Drew. I just don't particularly like this plot.
I just want to see how that ends and how she gets back to being herself. That's what I want to see. Yeah. All right, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 115. Chris is excited about that.
I'm excited. I'm catching up. I only have 1 or 2 more issues before I'm caught up to this. I can't wait. I can't talk about it because I'm 2 issues behind, so I don't know what's going to happen yet. But I'm liking this arc so far with the person from the future coming into the past. And I think Razor are actually in this. So I'm really looking forward to catching up now because Toga and Razor are my 2 favorite villains from TMNT 2.
Okay. Cool. All right, we got Thor number 13. Is Jane in this one? She's definitely in this one, right?
Oh, she's better.
They're all. Well, she's the one that got Odin. She
found Odin at the bar. Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, oh man, Thor's gone so good, and it's all because Jane's
always
in it.
Always Manos.
Yeah.
That's about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the audio listeners.
TMNT rules lately, and I said always. I say always. Since issue 1, TMNT's been rocking it.
But Thor has been rocking it too. So I'm really looking forward to that.
But again, it's all because of Jane. And we didn't talk about Natalie Portman's jacked muscles from last week.
Oh yeah, we forgot last week to talk about that. Natalie Portman got jacked.
She's been drinking some protein shakes, man, because she is freaking huge.
Oh man, it's like, where was this in Star Wars?
I never thought she could be so big.
Yeah,
that was like the cover, like an artist's imagination of like, oh, this is what Thor is gonna look like. She literally looks like that version. It's just like, what? That's awesome.
When I first saw the picture, I didn't even think it was real. I thought it was like a Photoshop, her head on somebody else's body, and I was like, oh, these are set photos. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's crazy.
Serenity says jacked muscles off to Google. You'll appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
it's a great picture.
Oh man, yeah. So it's crazy. All right, moving on from Natalie Portman's jacked arms, we go to Nightwing number 78.
Yeah,
this is my jumping on point.
So excited for this.
Yeah. That and we'll just wrap that in. Justice League 59. So we're finally getting back to these 2 series. Okay. More excited about Nightwing than
what's 59? Is that where Bendis starts, or are we?
Yeah,
Bendis is starting on this on his run, and I've already heard a couple not so great.
Shazam.
Shazam. I don't know if it's mentioned there, but I just heard that it's traditional, you know.
Mm.
I don't want to.
Traditional.
I haven't read it yet, so I don't want to be that way.
I think Bendis needs to go back to Marvel. He just got that better.
But
I'm gonna give it a
Nightwing,
shot.
Nightwing, Tom Taylor, Nightwing.
Ooh,
I think this is going to be a great series.
Barbara's in it as well. And the artwork is the same artist as Injustice. I'm so excited for that book.
I'm excited for both of these in the respect that we're, you know, like last week, we're getting back to the series and, you know, leaving all this other, you know, stuff behind. Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely more excited for Nightwing.
Yes.
Captain Marvel number 27, finally out of the Namor Sun arc. We're getting into something new. Looking forward to that.
I like the cliffhanger of the last issue, even though I didn't like the Namor arc. Because, like you know, if you see your future, how will that dictate your present? I thought it was really interesting, and it looks like that's what she's going to be dealing with in this issue as well. But yeah, I'm excited for a new arc as well. But Captain Marvel is usually really good, but sometimes there's that one arc. It's like, that was the last arc.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna mention Ove yet, or if that's gonna be like they're gonna revisit that down the line, or you know, because he's obviously still traveling through time or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got Superman Red and Blue Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody! I'm looking forward to Christmas.
I don't know why I was talking. I'll tell you where that came from. I was talking to Lisa about Clay Adams' Red Xmas earlier, so that's all
red and blue.
Christmas. Yeah. So anyway, Superman Red and Blue.
I'm excited for this mini. It's going to take place during Christmas now. Watch.
Yeah.
I hope so.
We also talked about holidays earlier, so Christmas is just on the brain.
I'll try to tie it in now.
In March.
In March. Yeah. Well, it's like Christmas. My birthday's in March, so you know.
Sure, you can relate it that way.
Yeah, totally. It's presents, you know. I already got my present though.
Burying yourself, your bread. You're burying yourself.
I don't care. I'm used to it. Erratic number 4 is the next one we're going to talk about.
Blonde girl needs something to do. That's my only comment. She needs to be a character. Please, blonde girl.
Yeah,
that's it.
There you go. That's it. Just more blonde girl.
But more like she has to be good though. We don't need more blonde girl if she's gonna be what we've been seeing. Yeah.
So the last one we got to talk about, which had a great first issue, Radiant Black number 2. I'm really excited for this issue.
Me too.
Especially with that cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is gonna be a good book, I think.
Yeah, this is another one you should check out, Chris.
Power Rangers, pretty much.
Basically. Yeah, so that's why you should check it out.
Okay. I'll look
and same writer as Power Rangers. Well, the original Power Rangers.
Yeah. So you only got one issue to catch up with.
Yeah, I can catch up with 2, yeah.
Yeah, it was really good, and the art was really good too, so looking forward to that. But that's all of our most anticipated for this week.
All right.
I feel like it's a small week. I'm not getting that many books.
No, there's not that many books.
Very short week.
There isn't that many books. All right, guys. So I think what we're going to do is really quickly, let's go over some of the stuff that might be coming up or going on. We're over on time. So if you guys want to just go quickly, I'll start it off with Brant.
I don't really have anything. Just check out the audio version. It drops on Friday on Apple, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to podcasts.
All right. And Chris?
Same with me. Just keep an eye out on Dark Avenger C86 on YouTube and Chaotic Falcon 86 on Twitch for gaming and comic book stuff.
All right. Kat, we know you got your Kickstarter. You want to mention it one more time?
Definitely go check out the Kickstarter. You guys get that free PDF, the Killer Rue Scars. If you check out the Kickstarter, I'll give the link. But also, I'm going to be on a Wizard World panel this Friday. I'm giving the link, and there's chances for giveaways. And if you back all the campaigns, we're going to quickly screen share of all these campaigns, including like Image Comics Excellence and Glarian by Charlie, like all these great campaigns out right now. We're all going to be on the panel, and you guys can get a print of all our characters, which is really cool. So that's Friday, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully you guys could join us, and go check out the panel.
Yeah, and there's Karl Kesel, who we talked about earlier in the show.
Karl's on there too. So
All right,
Very
pretty
cool.
cool. And guys, you can check out my videos. I'm running a contest on my channel on Comic Book Corner 2.0, where it's kind of the X-Men prize pack. So if you comment on my videos, I'm doing the road to 10K. So from now all the way until I hit 10K subscribers, you can comment, subscribe, do whatever it is. You'll be entered in the giveaway. You can win this Uncanny X-Men issue 168. It's a cool issue with Kitty Pryde on there as she rejoins the team.
Pity.
That's a pretty awesome issue. There's a lot of other key things that happen there. You can win this X-Men versus Avengers Fantastic Four trade, and then you can also win this Marvel Masterworks, the X-Men numbers 101 through 110 hardcover book as well. So again, I'll be running that all the way until I get to 10K. And
that's the Phoenix Saga, right? 101 through 110.
Yes. Yep. So I will be doing that all the way until I hit the 10K, and then I'll pick a winner at that point. So I just wanted to announce that going forward. And that's it. So any of you guys have anything else to say before we go real quick?
I think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
So there you guys have it. There is another episode of Comic Book Weekly. Remember, guys, subscribe to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Subscribe to Comic Book Weekly. Hit the bell for all those notifications.
Ding.
Hit that thumbs up, right? Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Why not, right? And yeah, until next time, we'll bring you another episode. What?
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Because Brad's pointing to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening. And let's do the final wave, everybody. So